Welcome. Today we're going to be talking about your Social Security benefits and the 2026 updates to Social Security. And more importantly, how do we maximize your benefits for your retirement? Again, we're going to be talking about Social Security. You guys have all seen these statements before. We're going to talk about how do we maximize your Social Security, and we're going to talk about a lot of the questions and risks to Social Security. And again, welcome. I am Scott Hilliard with GNZ Financial and the Modest Millionaire. And if you've built your wealth the old-fashioned way through hard work and dedicated savings, if you've accumulated a net worth of over $1 million, or you're working towards that goal, and if you're concerned about all the noise in the economy and the stock market and the uncertainty and are looking for ways to manage risk, and if you're hoping and praying for a better life for your kids and grandkids, just like we are, well, you're in the right place. You're a modest millionaire, and welcome. Today, we're again going to be talking about Social Security and some of the key updates for 2026. First, the COLA, or cost of living adjustment. We're seeing a 2.8% increase in Social Security this year, so that's great. And then maximum taxable earnings. If you're still working, your income is subject to Social Security tax up to $184,500, and everything above that is not taxed for Social Security purposes. And then if you're collecting Social Security today and still working, there are some limits. And so if you're under your full retirement age, typically 67 if you were born in 1960 and later, the maximum amount you can earn is $23,420 a year before it impacts your Social Security. And then once you hit your full retirement age, there's no limit. You can make $100,000, $200,000 or more, and it will not impact your Social Security. And the other thing we always like to talk about is risks. Yes, there are risks to Social Security. We hear it on the news all the time. Let's clarify and provide you some facts to what actually is going on. So in the Social Security updated report in August 2025, Social Security again notes that they believe that Social Security will be depleted, run out of money in 2034. Okay. And what does that really mean? Well, after 2034, Social Security could still pay out roughly 81% of their benefits, which turns into a 19% reduction. That's assuming that no legislative actions taken. I hope they can solve this problem, but if not, Social Security will still issue checks. Money will still be going out, but there could be a potential reduction of about 19%. So how did we get in this situation? Well, first thing, people are living longer, right? So this chart shows life expectancy for women from, the 1940s to now today, right? We see people are living a lot longer, collecting Social Security checks for a lot longer. The other thing is the ratio of workers to retirees has decreased. So there's less workers paying into the system. And so in 1960, that ratio of workers to retirees was 5.1. Now they're projecting in 2035, it's 2.3. So again, a reduction there that's impacting the viability of Social Security. And then the other thing we always like to talk about, and this is our U.S. national debt. This is a true economic crisis that not enough people are talking about. So again, right now our U.S. national debt is $38.3 trillion. It's hard to fathom what that really means. But I like this ratio at the bottom of the federal debt to the GDP. In the 1960s, that was 52%. The 1980s, 34%. Fabulous. The 2000s, 55%. And now it is 121%. It's unsustainable. Something has to happen. So how could the government fix Social Security? Again, there's a lot of issues out there that's causing us to be in this situation. How could we fix it? Maybe a means-based test. So maybe people that have, great pensions or significant other assets, they get a smaller Social Security benefit. That's on the table potentially. Maybe increasing the full retirement age. They've done that in the past. Could they do it again? Potentially. Maybe reducing overall benefits. Or maybe increasing payroll taxes or removing that threshold. Again, all income over $184,000 isn't subject to Social Security tax. Could they change that? Or could it be a combination of all of these things potentially? But the big thing is we know there are hurdles and obstacles to Social Security, and I know you're frustrated by this. You've been paying into Social Security for maybe 35 years, and now they might potentially pull the rug out from underneath you. You should be angry. You should talk to your elected officials, and we need to make certain we have the right strategy for you. And what does that look like? Well, we always say control what you can control. And we can't control legislative action or what the government does, but we can control when you take Social Security. So this is a very important question, is when should you start claiming your Social Security? And how I like to look at it is really, how can you make the most out of all of your retirement funds? How do we maximize all of our benefits? And the only answer to that is it depends. It depends on your unique situation and careful analysis and planning. And some of the variables that we like to think about is life expectancy. Yeah, has a huge impact on Social Security over the lifetime of how much you'll collect. Are you married? So, how do we maximize these benefits between you and your spouse? Are you divorced? So, there is still spousal benefits even if you were divorced, and we can talk about that. And impacts if your spouse passes away. Yeah, there are some widower benefits. And so we want to think about that, especially if we're married and one spouse continues to live for another 10, 15 years after one of them passes away. It can have a profound impact on our retirement plan. We want to make certain you have the right strategy. Your ideal standard of living. So what does retirement look like for you? How much would you ideally like to live on? Your other assets, so what else do we have other than Social Security that we could potentially tap into? Taxes. Yep, taxes are definitely, part of this. And then potential cuts to Social Security. Let's stress test this and find the right strategy for you. So we cannot look at Social Security in isolation. We have to think about all these other variables. And what I would say is we're here to help. Knowledge is power. We don't like opinions. We don't like shooting from the hip. We want to use data and help you find the right strategy, again, based on your unique situation. And at GNZ, we have some great tools. One of these is an illustration here of a heat map. How do we maximize the benefits between you and your spouse? And we can adjust that for longevity and run some scenarios. We can adjust it if there's cuts to Social Security and run some different scenarios. And again, find the best solution over a variety of scenarios. And then a break-even analysis. A lot of people like to talk about break-even analysis. Where does those lines cross? And in this example, if you live beyond age 77, you're kind of making money by waiting to take Social Security. Conversely, if you die before 77, you lost money by not taking Social Security early. That's one way to look at it. I also like to talk about, stress tests and other scenarios. And what happens if you live to age 85 or 90, 95, 100? And more people are living to 100 now. And one of the biggest fears of retirees is running out of money. Well, I can tell you the best way to run out of money in retirement is to take Social Security at age 62, because that has a 30% penalty for the rest of your life. So again, we want to talk about your unique situation and find the best strategy for you. And again, we are here to help. Let's connect and please reach out. So some ways to do that is please subscribe and follow us. Also check out our website, and we also offer a complimentary mini consultation. With this, QR code and link that's in the episode description, you can schedule a complimentary 15-minute meeting talking about your unique situation. We'll talk about your questions to Social Security, and we'll start talking about crafting your path towards a great retirement. Thank you for watching. Take care, and we hope to talk to you soon. All right. Cheers.